the Pine Hockey Eagles postgame show. We are live from Ocean Casino in Atlantic City. I'm Mike Missinelli. You're watching us on 6abc.com and also the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. The Eagles win 23-14 with an amazing second-half defensive adjustment, which completely shackled Matthew Stafford, who went wild in the first half with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, who was back for the first time. But it is now time for Kayla's Diamond Debate. It is brought to you by Mark's Jewelers. Wednesday night, October 11th, this Wednesday, the grand opening of Mark's Jewelers' massive new store in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Check that out. Here is Kayla Santiago joining the panel with the Diamond Debate. Hello, Kayla. What are you wearing tonight?
Well, I would definitely check that out because there's fantastic jewelry. We've had gold, we've had some pearls, and tonight we've got great silver jewelry. We have these inside-out diamond hoops that actually come in silver, white, and black as well. This beautiful pearl ring, this double-layer necklace, and how about this bracelet? Absolutely stunning in this silver. Everything that you guys need and more can be from our friends at Mark Jewelers, just like you guys needed Dallas Goedert to get started in this game and to get even better in the game plan, and that's exactly what he was able to do. 117 yards in this game, the most on the season so far for him, but we still have to focus on the offense in the red zone. You guys mentioned this earlier in the show. They came into this game 42% converting in the red zone, probably a little bit less now that they weren't able to do so great tonight. Seth, I'm going to start with you. Put yourself in Brian Johnson's shoes. What do? Do you stop Jalen Hurts from running the ball so much in the red zone? Do you run it a little bit more with Swift and Gainwell? How do they stop this? Because every single game going forward is not going to be made up of field goals every single week.
Well, I think a lot of it, Kayla, depends on, how the defense is playing you. So, they had a tight formation on one run play down in the red zone where they ran Jalen Hurts, and they had everything kind of bunched up. That's an opportunity to go play action pass and throw the ball to your 6'5", tight end on a jump ball rather than trying to run your quarterback wide. You've got guys that are on the edges that are responsible for guys in man-to-man coverage, and when they look up and they see that those guys are blocking, they insert themselves in the run game. So why not just go play action pass? Or you got running backs. I'm getting tired of seeing Jalen Hurts running the football on these quarterback sweeps, even though he has some success with it in certain situations today. In tight situations like the red zone, I don't want to see my quarterback have to run the football. I want to use running backs to run the football. You can run jet sweeps, with these wide receivers that you have. I would much rather see that than to watch Jalen Hurts continue to have to run the ball in the red zone. And like I said, you got a big body in A.J. Brown that when he runs a slant route, it's 100%, efficiency because those small DBs can't get around him. So if they're outside technique, that's an automatic. You got Dallas Goedert that you can run, from attached positions on a corner route and throw it high and let him jump up over guys. There's so many other options you have than what they're doing with Jalen Hurts.
I thought a couple of the calls were questionable. They ran him up the middle on a keeper where I thought that was a needless call. And then on a 3rd and 2, they had a flat pass to Quez Watkins, which was stopped. I don't think that they were zeroed in on great calls in the red zone there.
And you got to know your personnel. That route that you throw to Quez, he ain't catching that ball. If you cut my hands off and put it on him, he ain't catching that ball.
Dang. You went right for the jugular, didn't you?
Hey, listen, did I say anything that wasn't true, D?
I'm pulling for you, Quez. I don't care what he says.
But Kayla, you're right. It's got to be a concern that they're not scoring touchdowns down there. It can't be the personnel because they're moving the football a bit. So I think you got to just study the play calls a little harder on what works down there.
Do you think this falls a little bit more on Jalen Hurts going forward to figure out this offense and push it? Is it Brian Johnson saying, listen, we need to figure this out? Because there's going to be games, guys, where you can't just settle with Jake Elliott in field goals. You might need to score that game-winning touchdown or go up by 6 and 7. What is the answer here? Does it happen next week? Is it more Brian Johnson, or do you think that Jalen Hurts could take some fault here?
I think it takes more in-depth research. I understand Brian Johnson is trying to put his signature on this offense, but why are you continuously putting your quarterback in harm's way? I don't care how strong he is. He's still a quarterback, and you got guys running full board trying to take that quarterback out because more times than not, with his ability to get out on the perimeter and step up and juke and make you miss, or his leg strength alone to bull over you, that's demoralizing to a defensive player. And it only takes one good shot. Ask some of the other quarterbacks, franchise quarterbacks in the league, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. They've taken a lot of unnecessary shots and missed a lot of unnecessary time under center as well. To what Seth is saying, you have way too many offensive options on this team. Too many Pro Bowl caliber options on this team, from 2 frontline receivers to a power running back now, to a change of pace running back with a Kenneth Gainwell, to a DeAndre Swift, to a tight end who doesn't have the numbers but is still one of the top 5 tight ends in the game. You have way too many options to worry about your quarterback running quarterback draws up the middle too many times than not. Because that one particular play, he stepped out. Seth and I thought he twisted his ankle or thought his knee buckled on the one play when he was tackled from behind. Luckily, he got up, continued to play. But, you see that too often. I don't want to see that anymore with this kid. There's going to be times when he has to run out of necessity. I don't want to see all these quarterback draw plays to him.
And I know I said last week that I don't want to see Kenny Gainwell as much, but I think in this game it would have been nice, especially in the red zone, to see a little bit more of the running backs and DeAndre Swift and Gainwell as well.
Well, they used Gainwell as the power back when they tried to convert 3rd and short. Yeah. They had a 3rd and 2 there before the play to Quez Watkins. What play was I calling for? What play was I calling for that 3rd and 2?
I don't know.
Remember the tush push.
Oh, yeah.
They get 3 yards every time they run the tush push. Well, it's unbelievable. And there was a
stat. Not at the end of the game, though.
Well, yeah, but they
Their
did.
Percentage
they
went
did
down
convert the touchdown on a tush push, and in the last few seconds of that first half, the TV said they were 93% on that play. Where's 90? I've seen it stopped once. The whole time they tried it, that's got to be more than 93%, right?
Well, because I think there were times they tried it on 3rd down, they didn't get it, and then they came back on 4th down and actually completed it. Listen, my thing is, you've got such a dominant defensive line, and they're going to continue to do this, and then they're going to mix it up with a little bit of, what they did last week. They tried it twice last week where they lined up for the tush push. They packed it in so much that Jalen pulled it out and tried. One time he ran around the end and it didn't work. The second time he ran around the end and made a 1st down. You're going to start to see more and more of that as they continue to pack it in. But I just think that, you got running backs for a reason, and Kenneth Gainwell has proven over the last couple of weeks that he's willing to take that ball and hit the hole 150 miles per hour, and get that 2 or 3 yards, if necessary. And I think they need to use him more to do that if he's willing to hit the hole that way.
Here's my biggest concern with Jalen Hurts, and luckily it hasn't happened yet. Look at a quarterback like Anthony Richardson of the Colts, 6'4", 250 pounds. He's already missed one game because of a concussion. He gets slammed today, possibly separated shoulder. He's going to be out extended time. Now, this man is 6'4", 250 pounds, okay? Jalen is a strong quarterback, probably has the strongest lower body strength of any quarterback in the National Football League, but he is also susceptible to taking unnecessary shots. Why continue to put him in harm's way like that? And Anthony Richardson runs like that because he doesn't have close to the weapons a Jalen Hurts has. Jalen Hurts has multitudes of weapons to choose from. Nick Sirianni, multitude of weapons to choose from in situations like that. Utilize them. That's what they get paid for.
And I don't want to see Jalen get hurt because, yes, he has a lot of weapons, but we saw what happened last year when you take Jalen out of the equation, and it's nothing good. But I want to switch over to the defense real quick. The Sean versus Sean battle tonight was won by Sean Desai. Fantastic work, especially those second-half adjustments. You guys alluded to it earlier on the post-game show as well, but what was the biggest difference in that second half? And do we see these game changes as good as they were today going forward? Where's your confidence in Desai right now if you had a scale of 1 to 10?
I just think that it's a simple fix. It's always been a simple fix. Mix up the times where, you play your cornerbacks and your defensive backs more aggressively and where you play them more passively. I think the more times that you just line up and you give a passive, posture, that offensive coordinators begin to look at what you're doing and they say to themselves, well, this is the way that they line up. So if this is what they're going to do in a predictable way, then we know what we can get every single time. Now all of a sudden you got guys that are up. And when guys are up, all of a sudden you got a mixture of outside technique and inside technique, and doubles coming that that you might not be able to see, and combo coverages that may look like you're in man, but you're actually bringing a zone pressure. You got all of these different things to make a quarterback and an offensive coordinator think about. But when your posture is more aggressive, now you give the quarterback, the offensive coordinator, and all the players across the board, especially the wide receivers, when you know they got to throw it, you give them more to think about. Okay, how are we going to offense this? How are we going to figure out a way to beat this? Because we know that they're coming with a pressure that we can't pick up. The quarterback's got one read and one read only, and he can't run. Mm-hmm. So he's either going to have to throw it away or he's going to have to make the perfect throw. That's a 50-50 proposition. I love to have a quarterback in that scenario every single time.
Yeah, I thought they got a little more aggressive in the second half. Obviously, they pushed up a little bit. They were really giving them cushions in the first half. I think the pressure combined with the getting more aggressive with their defensive backs, I think, were really helpful today. And, since the Jalen Carter, we talk about him every week, right? But he had 2 sacks today, two more sacks, and he was beating that center up. The center went out, but ran a backup center in there today, and that was no fun.
When he's most dangerous, though? What? When he's most dangerous is in an obvious pass rushing situation.
Yeah.
When he's got sometimes on first and second down, when he's got to read, whether it's run or pass and then get to the quarterback, he might be a little late getting there. But when he knows that he's in pure pass rushing mode, you can't block this kid.
That one quarterback sack he had.
The first one.
The second one.
Oh, my God.
Where he shot through the middle. His burst off the snap is incredible for a man of that size. I don't even think the offensive line barely touched him. He certainly didn't get up and get in his stance quick enough.
Well, he wham blocked him.
He just,
He wham blocked him.
He got whammed. That lineman got whammed. That's what happened. He got whammed. I don't think he realized how quick Jalen Carter was. Yeah. I don't think Stafford realized. You can look at players all you want on film, but until you actually see them in game situations, you can't get a true gauge for exactly what you're looking at.
Well, it's the speed and the power.
Yeah.
He pops up out of his stance. He gives a head fake. The guy leans in, wham. He whams him down, and he's gone before you even know it. Yeah. And as an offensive lineman, more times than not, you're expecting the straight-on hand-to-hand combat. But when a guy that size has got that kind of ability where he can beat you one way or the other, a swim move, a wham move, a rip move, a straight power move, he's just got an arsenal of stuff that, that most guys don't have.
Conversely, Aaron Donald had one solo tackle today. One solo tackle.
The offensive line's working.
One pressure. I mean, that's just phenomenal to hold him down like that.
I think this is easily one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in the NFL right now. The way that Jalen is able to sit in the pocket and feel so confident, the time that he has to throw and say, I can actually see the field, guys. I don't think we've seen that since you started, and it's good to see. It's led by Jason Kelsey, but right now they're giving the best defenders on that line in the NFL a problem each and every week.
I will say this, Kayla. To me, it's an evolution of Jalen Hurts, because I think last year we began to talk about it in pre- and post-game. There were times where he ran the ball. There was time where he made plays on the move, and there were times where he stood in the pocket and he made plays from the pocket. And I said then, this quarterback is dangerous because he can beat you in a multiple of ways. But this is what I expected, how I expected the season to start, D-Gun, is watching Jalen Hurts operate more from the pocket and dominate from the pocket as a pocket passer and only use his athleticism and run and move when he has to. Yeah. I don't want to see him running around. If you can operate your offense that efficiently, like that first drive, 12 plays, 75 yards, he was so efficient on that drive. Tell me why in the world you can't do that every single series. I don't want to see my quarterback running unless the play is broken down and he's trying to make something happen. Other than that, playing from the pocket. Let him operate from the pocket. And if you want to get spicy with it, go some misdirection out of 12 personnel, which they ran a lot in the first half.
Right.
The bootlegs, that really got Dallas Goedert going early. You can run some of that and get him on the move, but he's proven it. He can play the game from the pocket and be efficient from the pocket. You don't have to put him in harm's way. You really don't.
I do believe Jalen has been more deliberate with his running. We've talked about, does he look slower? I just think he's more cautious, more deliberate with his running to protect himself, and I'm sure he's been coached up that way from Sirianni and Brian Johnson basically tell him, look, we need you for a full 17 games. You see the schedule we have in front of you. We can't have any fluke injuries like we had just a year ago. Make sure you take care of your body. I think he's done a better job of getting down. Of course, a couple of times he juked the defender and picked up extra yards in this game today. But I think for the most part, he has done a better job of being more calculated outside of the quarterback draw plays. When he's had to scramble because he's been forced to run, I think he's much more calculated than we've seen him in the past.
All right, that was our Diamond debate. Thank you, Kayla. Coming up, we're going to do our 2-minute drill, and also the famous John McMullen joining us live from SoFi Stadium. That is coming up on the Pond Lehocky Eagles postgame show, live from Ocean Casino. Back after them.
And welcome
to the Diamond Debate
with Liam and Hillary
in the heart of Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania.
What you got for us today on your right hand, Hill?
Today we've got a right-hand ring, Liam.
What is that?
It's a ring that you would wear on your right hand.
That's it?
That's all there is to it.
Okay.
It's meant to balance your left hand situation, or if you're not engaged or married, it says, I'm not engaged or married, but I still have this over here that's sparkly.
There's a lot of other ways you can say that.
No, not if you're trying to wear jewelry. Which
Okay.
one's your favorite?
I love this Art Deco moment. I mean, with these beautiful baguettes and round diamonds. I mean, who wouldn't say no to one of these?
Baguettes are hot right now. People also love an eternity band. It's beautiful.
Great for the other hand.
That's right. So come on down here. For love grows here at Mark's Jewelers.
Every day of the week except Sundays and Mondays.
That's because we are closed.